Long story short, romantic comedy about, I guess, about living in the moment and not putting things off, into the future all the time. It's about a guy who is the eternal procrastinator. He's always, tomorrow, tomorrow, I'll deal with it tomorrow. And he has this encounter, a very mysterious encounter with a stranger, it's a bit cryptic. And subsequent to that, he ends up being thrust into this time jump where his life starts moving much faster than he's able to contend with. Essentially, every few minutes, he jumps forward a year. And through that, he's able to see a possible future of how his life might end up if he continues to live in the way that he's been living. And yeah, he learned some lessons along the way. I just auditioned, like auditioning as you do as a jobbing actor. And uh, yeah, I just kept getting callbacks and eventually had a phone conversation with Josh, and he expressed real interest in working with me and with me being on the project. So that was really great. But the thing that really attracted to me initially when I read the scenes and then when I read the screenplay was it was written the notoriously film scripts, the scenes are quite short. Like you might get a scene that's only like half a page, it's like 6 lines, and you're going, okay, how do I pack everything that I need to pack into that half scene? And I come from a theater background, and so screenplay, in long story short, when I first read it, the scenes were quite long. There were scenes that went for pages with my character and Teddy, the protagonist. And I was like, oh, okay, great. I can sink my teeth into this. I really, it felt more comfortable, I guess. It felt like a realm that I had more experience with, longer scenes. And also what was really attractive about it was the sense of repartee that was clear from the writing between Teddy and Leanne, that they were kindred spirits, and they were quick thinkers, a bit like, this is going to sound a bit funny, but like a bit like in Shakespeare, with lovers, they're quick-witted, and they can spar with each other in terms of language, and yeah, that was really attractive to me. That yeah, there would be a sense of camaraderie and repartee in the playing those two characters. Well, I mean, we did actually talk about Groundhog Day a lot when we were starting to make it, and like when Rafe came out and we were beginning filming. But I think it's different because it's more about seizing. I think the thing about Groundhog Day is that it's repeating the same day, whereas this is about jumping forward. And I think the idea that people should take risks now, like I think that's the central theme of Long Story Short, that you shouldn't be afraid of the sense of failure. Don't be afraid of that, because I think that that's what, why Teddy doesn't do the things that he does, is because there's a fear of failing, or that you might not be good at it, or that it's going to be too difficult anyway. Obviously, when I heard that Rafe Spall was doing it, I was completely intimidated and petrified. But that's great. That's really wonderful to be able to work with somebody who has way more experience than you do. That's like learning that you can't pay for. So it was really exciting to be able to work with somebody like him and to get to work in depth. It wasn't like we were doing one scene together. I was working with Rafe quite closely. And so that was really amazing. And also working with people like Ronnie, Ronnie would often say, oh, I'm not really an actor, I do comedy, it's like different, so it was great, people all were coming from different experiences. Josh, himself is an actor. And so being able to work with a director who has a background in acting is really lucky, as an actor, because you feel like you can talk to him, the communication's a little bit more fluid and elastic. And also, I think that Josh has a sense of when he needs to insert himself into something, when he needs to step back and let, the actors do their own thing. He's got an idea about how that will work. So yeah, it was really fun. And, Josh gave us a lot of room to play. So that was really wonderful. We filmed towards the end of 2019, so we were blissfully ignorant to the to the future. But certainly, the pandemic affected release and post production You know, we were just about to start doing some post stuff, and the pandemic was, you know, that it was like March. So things like getting people into the studio to do pickups and stuff like that, all just, you know, and that pushes back the schedule then subsequently. So I think more for, you know, the studio and the producers it was, but in terms of filming, it didn't affect us at all. Oh, I think go back because you can't match it. Like you can't match. It's not the same as sitting at home on your laptop. You know what I mean? Like you want to you want to be able to be in a big room and see it on the big screen, and also being in a space sharing it with other people, like watching a film with other people. Like there's something to be said for sharing that time space. But also like support local films, you know, like this is an Australian film written by an Australian, it's got an Australian cast, and it's filmed in Sydney. You know, it's got these amazing locations that are recognizable to people who live in Sydney. And yeah, there's, you know, this is actually kind of paradoxically quite a good time for Australian cinema, you know, because we've been quite good at handling the pandemic here. There's actually a lot of productions that are happening here, stuff that's being filmed here. Yes, a lot of overseas stuff, but, you know, it's also a chance for local talent to get the opportunities that they might not necessarily have got before. So, you know, we have the capability here. We've got so much talent in Australia, and there's a sense often that people need to go overseas to seek success or to make progression, and it's not necessarily true. So I would say, yeah, support local. You know, the film is it's like a nice way to ease back into cinema viewing. You know, I think a lot of the content maybe that people are looking for escapism, they're looking for something light. It's a great piece to kind of ease back in to cinema and to going back and watching stuff. And I also think, you know, the themes around thinking about what's important in life and what we value and kind of recalibrating those things, that's really relevant post 2020 in a way that I don't think we necessarily knew when we were making the film. You know, last year was a reckoning for a lot of people in terms of, oh, hang on, why am I doing this? And does this actually bring me joy? And is this great for me? And, you know, re-evaluating things that are important. And is this grand gesture really everything that it needs to be? Maybe my life can be much simpler. And actually there's a lot of that packed into the film. So it kind of has a reinvigorated meaning being released now.